text message at 2:32 from Laura Ingraham. Hey, Mark, the president needs to tell people in the Capitol to go home. In the next message, this is hurting all of us. And then he's destroying his legacy and playing into every stereotype. We lose all credibility against the BLM Antifa crowd if things go south. At 3:31 p.m. on January 6th, Sean Hannity of Fox News texted Mark Meadows. Mr. Hannity said, quote, "Can he make a statement? I saw the tweet. Ask people to leave the Capitol." Later that evening, Mr. Hannity sent another text message to Mark Meadows. This time, he shared a link to a tweet. That tweet reported that President Trump's cabinet secretaries were considering invoking the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump from office. President Trump's supporters were worried. In addition to the tweet that he sent Mark Meadows after the attack, Sean Hannity apparently spoke with President Trump and warned him about what could happen. We understand that this text message that Sean Hannity sent to Kayleigh McEnany on January 7th shows what Mr. Hannity said to the president. First, no more stolen election talk. Second, impeachment and 25th Amendment are real. Many people will quit.
I think, as we've seen before, it's methodical. We always point out the caveat. There's not a minority here that's pushing back or questioning the other way. He wanted the crowd to be bigger, more robust. And she quotes him as saying, and she was there in that back room behind the stage, "I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Let the people in. Take the effing mags away."
Jonathan Turley just writing a few moments ago that in no way is this an exoneration of the president's role, but he's pointing again to the leaving out of the peacefully head to the Capitol, the words that Turley has pointed out quite often. No exoneration, but highlights the lack of any alternative perspective or questioning on the committee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure that it really shocks anybody that the president, just, knowing what we've seen, observing him over the years, if he got angry that he might throw his lunch. I'm not sure. It's obviously a very dramatic detail, and the way that she describes it is. But I'm not sure that any of this is wholly out of character with the Donald Trump and the President Trump that people came to know over the years. And there's a lot of...
Let me just point this out. Donald Trump clearly has been watching what's going on. Here's what he just wrote on Truth Social. "I hardly know who this person, Cassidy Hutchinson, is, other than I heard very negative things about her, a total phony and a leaker. And when she requested to go with certain others of the team to Florida, after my having served a full term in office, I personally turned her request down. Why did she want to go with us if she felt we were so terrible? I understand that she was very upset and angry that I didn't want her to go or be a member of the team. She is bad news."
The committee is trying to say is that former President Trump was a threat and that he wanted a coup, essentially. That's what they're trying to say. Jonathan Turley is right to point out that they always leave out the snippet of "we're going to go peacefully and patriotically."
But as Brett noted, this is the question is what you're trying to achieve here. This isn't contributing to the building of a criminal case.
And having been one of us who stressed a number of times that the committee doesn't have cross-examination, and as a result, you have to discount virtually everything you hear, because in a normal proceeding you would have that. On the issue of incitement, I've stressed a number of times, John has stressed a number of times, it's a very complex legal issue, and it's very relevant that Trump said peacefully march, which is something they continue to leave out.
However, President Trump, or former President Trump, was challenging what she testified to about grabbing the wheel or throwing his lunch against the wall. He also says on Truth Social, quote, "She changed lawyers a couple of days ago, and with it, her story totally changed."
It's incredibly irresponsible the way the House did the impeachment back in January of 2021. This investigation should have been done. This evidence should have been in front of the Senate.
Yeah,
These
great
charges
point.
should have been in the articles of impeachment. And then we wouldn't be talking about criminal prosecution, or if we were, we'd be doing it in a very different context. Secondly, that having been said, they're building a very strong case. Now, understanding again that there hasn't been cross-examination and all that stuff that we always say, they're building a very strong case on this idea of corruptly impeding Congress from doing its job. And based on what I heard today, leaving incitement aside, it's a federal crime to intimidate or assault members of Congress. And I continue to think the important testimony that came out today was just how much information President Trump had about how armed to the teeth this crowd was, and his reaction that, well, what's the problem with that? They're not coming for me. I'm not the one who's threatened by all this. And then he encourages them. He not only encourages them to go to the Capitol, he wants to lead them. I kept thinking, as the thought of him leading a mob down to the Capitol, what would the Capitol Police have done if the President of the United States was leading the mob? How could they conceivably have contained that? You know, Attorney General Garland has to understand that it would be devastating to the country to indict the political opposition of the president and someone who was a former president. So I think the threshold that has to be gotten through here is that there's got to be a consensus in the country before it's safe for the Justice Department to do what it can do, but has discretion not to do. The threshold they have to get through is, do most people think that's a good thing to do? And that's a reflection of how bad they think this conduct was, which is why I think today's testimony was so important.
Interesting. It's also, it would be reflected in how many people are watching and how much of an impact it's having on their thinking as they look back at all of it.